All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16. Max Barr's here. We're back, 12 hours later, after we did our opening night reaction stream. If you guys missed that, we touched on every single game that was played last night. So if you're looking for thoughts, you'll get plenty of them in our hour-plus show we did last night after the games. I thought there were obviously performances. We talked a lot about Florida, Arizona. A bunch of other stuff. So today, Max, we will clean up some of that. I'm sure some people want to jump in, have some more reaction to last night's games, but we're also going to preview the Tuesday slate, which is a bit more light, as it's going to be Kentucky and Nicholls. We're going to have South Carolina, North Carolina A&T, and then the big one, Duke and Texas. But I'm here to tell you, Max, that we are presented by FanDuel. We'll talk about some of the odds for those games coming up. But FanDuel, our friends over there, of course, we have big friends too, at GameTime SIDEKICKS. A lot of you people, I know, were drinking out of your GameTime SIDEKICKS cup last night watching your team play. Officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, every SEC school. Over 350 more universities as well. They got the stainless steel sippy cups, the tumblers, the 40-ounce bottles, the shaker cups. 20% off over there, SC16. 20% off. It helps out the channel if you guys go buy some cups and use that code. Don't forget to use the code SC16. 20% off, GameTimeSidekicks.com.
All right. Big day, Blake. Big day. Light day, but a big day. Man.
Big day. Big day if you're a Vanderbilt fan coming off of an impressive performance last night. I know Philip gets on us because we talk about some other teams a lot on this channel, but Philip knows. We will give the Commodores their due, and they looked fantastic last night. One of the biggest winners, I thought, of opening nights when it comes to just the eye test, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that is definitely one of our biggest takeaways. And if we, Max, want to start off looking at the lines for tonight over at FanDuel, we can do that once I actually pull up the games here. It's going to surprise Sam Smith that I'm not completely prepared with all the tabs open. 30.5 Kentucky is over Nicholls. That's an over-under of 153.5. I was going to expect some points in that game. South Carolina, 22.5 point favorite against North Carolina A&T, and the Duke-Texas line is at 9.5 in favor of Duke, which has gone up a little bit since the initial one, I think.
30-point favorite for the Cats, but that's not the story of this matchup, Blake. That is not the story of this game. The story is, are we going to see Mr. Lowe? Are we going to see Mr. Aberdeen tonight? I dug deep this morning, guys. I did. I tried to dig deeper than you Big Blue Nation psychos out there who dig nonstop. Couldn't find much. Did participate in a little shoot-around practice, getting loose yesterday. So, Blake, as far as my knowledge goes, both Jalen Lowe and Denzel Aberdeen are pretty much a 50-50 questionable, as accurate as a questionable tag can get. That's my current understanding.
Yeah, I just think we always say you're going to be way more cautious, especially in games like this. I just don't know if it's necessary. But
given the
but again, we say that. At the same time, remember the last time when we saw Kentucky play, it was a little bit different than when we saw them previously against Purdue. I know there was a lot of overreaction after the Georgetown game and such, but I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they look like. I mean, this Nicholls team, they're not bad. They've won 20 games in back-to-back seasons, and Tavon Sadler, I think, again, has them kind of in a position where we always say, like, these are the kind of games that you look at, Max, and you're like, what the opposing team is thinking coming into Rupp Arena, right? It's like, all right, we're going to go in and we're going to shock the world. It's happened before, but I think this is one, though, that certainly we're going to be looking at Kentucky here and just trying to figure out exactly, as we said last night, a lot of rotation-based stuff for me, kind of seeing exactly what it looks like. Although, if certain guys don't play, you still don't get the full picture. But I think that's at least something that I'm kind of curious about. when it comes to what we're going to see in this game, Nicholls was picked 4th by Blue Ribbon in the Southland. I don't know what the official Southland poll had, but that they were picked 4th. I think the strengths of their team, when you look at kind of the way they have it played out, is I think Max is a team that has high expectations. So not trying to worry Kentucky fans. You're a 30.5-point favorite, but definitely a game I think you want to see Kentucky come out and be focused and all that kind of attention to detail type stuff right off the bat.
Yeah, you mentioned Sadler, the Nicholls coach. I did not know that he's only a few years older than me.
Yeah, he's a young coach.
Yeah, really young coach. Was a head coach at age 28. My gosh, he's 30 right now. But reading up on some of Brandon Ramsey's stuff on the matchup, Nicholls is tall, Blake. Nicholls is real tall. They've got multiple of those 6'7", 6'8" wing slasher type versatile defenders. They're not to the level of Bethune-Cookman in terms of like they've got Arterio Morris, SEC, high major level athletes. Not to that level, but this is a tall team for a mid-major. This is a very tall team.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the quote exactly what he said from their Blue Ribbon conversation they had. Like, quote, "I think this is one of our more skilled teams." And it notes, says Sadler, who turns 31 in February. We will present mismatch problems because of how versatile we are offensively. So just something of note there. If you're a Kentucky fan, you're going into this game, you want a little, nugget of information. It's not a bad team, but Kentucky is good. And I think, again, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what were some of the things they focused on coming out of that exhibition against Georgetown. And I think, again, you want to kind of see that focus be there for game one against a team that you should beat. I think that can tell you a bit about teams, in my opinion, Max. Just how you come out and sort of play. If you are shorthanded too, right? Like how you kind of approach the game and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think that front court to me, as you said, because of the length and the athleticism for this Nicholls team, I want to see how the front court pans out rotation-wise for the Cats.
We do have a lot of gamblers that watch our stuff, and this is a bit of a lighter slate than last night. And we did give out some leans yesterday, Blake, and we didn't do too bad, other than not Alabama's half their team not playing when we had no clue. But I will say, if Aberdeen plays in this game, I do like the under. I think the defense of Kentucky is a bit underrated right now by the analytics, and we know that through the first few weeks of the season, the betting lines are very heavily reliant on the preseason analytical stuff, and I don't think it's caught up with Kentucky's defense. I think this is a fantastic defense. So if you are watching this just for that reason, keep an eye on the status of Denzel Aberdeen. If he's good to go, I do like the under.
Well, I don't like any of my plays. The Alabama one really, I would have looked too.
You got that. It's a mulligan, Blake. Forget it.
I think you're right. No, I also said BYU would be my pick, and it looked good there for a while, but it wound up being a 5-point game. Fade Blake after one game, after one set of games. You should already be fading anything that I pick. Don't pay attention to my picks until SEC play. Although, as I said, I did do the emotional hedge last night with Arizona, so. Apologize to Florida fans. Big Gator EJ. I'm trying to do the reverse mojo thing. So, by the way, Big Gator EJ is on the way back from the L in Vegas, he says. It was definitely a road game. We forgot to mention that last night, too. You may have. I just forgot. But I wanted to mention, boy, if you walked out of the room and you heard a bunch of cheering, not to knock Florida fans, you knew Arizona did something well because they had a ton of people in the building for that one. So, yeah, impressive crowd. I thought for the other Wildcats last night. So shout out to Jim too, celebrating little Boomer Sooner. Oklahoma scoring 102 last night. Big second half for the Sooners, as we talked about. Not a great first half, but a good second half for them, for sure.
We just got to get super chat from Zach.
Where is it? Let me see. Okay, $5 super chat from Zach. We'll tell you about super chats in a second. Auburn hasn't played yet, I heard. I hope they look good tonight. Well, Zach, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. We'll revisit that in a second, okay? Because I'm going to pull up some of the comments from Stephen Pearl, but we're gonna hit tonight's slate and then we'll circle back around.
I did go back and watch that.
I did too, and I want to give some additional thoughts, as we said last night.
Mm-hmm.
So Torius, by the way, $1.99 here on the super chat. If Aberdeen and Low are healthy, UK destroys all. Yes, they're going to be in good shape if those guys are healthy. The depth will be
Get them
there.
out there.
For sure. Remember, super chats are the best way to support the channel. Sometimes we're able to set a super chat goal on YouTube. We aim for 10, but for some reason that function not currently working at this very second. So Max, we'll try to get that set up. Remember, you always get a nice reward if we hit our super chat goal. We're gonna. I mean, how long's it been since we've done a Sanders read? Let's be honest here. So we will try again maybe to see if we can get this set up. But yeah, so I think, again, super chats, guys, really helps out the channel. And, of course, supporting our fine sponsors as well. We'll tell you about more of those here in a few. Okay. How about we talk about Duke, Texas? We did our preview yesterday. We both picked Duke to win. And additional thoughts on this game, Max. Again, guys, you can go watch that on the channel. Full video up on Duke, Texas. I said I thought for me the biggest storyline here will be the front court. We don't know what the rotation is going to look like seemingly at all for Texas. Don't have a great feel on that. One of the biggest unknowns I feel like I have, just because Traore, Vokititis we're out of the exhibition game, so you don't exactly have a great idea of what Sean Miller's thinking from a rotational aspect and how they're going to match up against this Duke front court, which is pretty absurd. So,
yeah, I do think that both Lassina Traore and Matas Vokititis, I do think they're both going to be good to go. On October 30th, Miller did say that he is expecting Traore to be ready for the Duke game. But he did say that Matas has been coming along a lot better than Traore has. But like the main concern there is, even if they are good to go, they haven't been practicing really. They missed the exhibitions, and this is not a front court that you want to play working out some kinks, working out some, cobwebs from not practicing. Boozer, Gogba, Dame Sarr, you name it. Malik Brown, I don't know if Malik Brown's going to play. He's been dealing with an injury, but I'm kind of worried about that. Even if they do play, it's not just like okay, great. They're set. They'll be able to match the physicality in the front court. I'm still worried because of the lack of exhibition and the lack of, real game speed that Traore didn't even play last year. Traore hasn't played since 2023, the 2022-23 season. So a little bit worried about the continuity in the front court for Florida.
Yeah, I don't have a great feel for Texas.
Or not Florida, Texas. Jeez.
Texas, yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think we're worried about the continuity in the front court for Florida. I think Florida's going to be okay. Okay, if you didn't watch our show last night, I think Florida's going to be fine. But yeah, I think that's the biggest question I have for Texas. I think their guards are going to get after it. I just think, I want to see what they look like in the front court. And again, what we've seen at Duke, they've been pretty impressive. No surprise there on them. All right. SC Scout guy still running with the theme of missing Chris. Hope Chris is okay. Sam's going to start asking in a second if Chris is in jail. Not in jail. He's getting ready for more football today here at the channel, including a little playoff reaction tonight once the rankings are revealed. That'll be live here on the channel. You guys can hop in once the first set of college football playoff rankings are unveiled. And Big Baller Brett with a $1.99 super chat. Amari Allen. Yeah. I think that should be the rule, Brett. Every time you say his name, you have to give us a super chat. So that should be the rule this season. You may be broke soon. So, all right. And yes, Chris will probably join us once football's over. So he'll hop in here occasionally. Yeah. All right. The other game today, we're going to quickly touch on, and I don't probably have a lot to say about this one. South Carolina versus North Carolina A&T. North Carolina A&T on KenPom 353. So, that's probably what you need to know there in terms of they've won 7 games in back-to-back seasons. Should be a big win for South Carolina, Max. The focus for me is on this backcourt for the Gamecocks because we said I think this is going to be the strength of the team. And based on some of the early returns from the exhibition games against NC State and such, We know Michi Johnson's going to be a usage warrior. This guy's going to have the ball in his hands pretty much the whole game. Yeah, Ellis, as we mentioned, I think he's going to probably have to play his way into that rotation based on the shooting we've seen so far. And then it's what are you going to get out of Studi? Rob Jamps, I think, is going to be a big addition, quite literally, based on the size he brings. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see South Carolina first real game, and I think they've got potential in terms of their guard play.
How many teams are in D1 this year? 365, is it?
I think that's right.
I think 365.
So 353.
You're telling me that South Carolina, I know they were picked bottom of the league, but still, South Carolina is only about 20 points better than a bottom 10 team in the country? The line's only 22? You're telling me South Carolina, an SEC school, the historic conference last year, is only 20 points better than one of the worst projected teams in the entire country? Either we're buying a little bit too much into the South Carolina exhibition results, or I really like minus 22.5.
Yeah.
Only 20 points better than one of the worst teams in the country?
I don't know, man. I think, it's kind of an interesting one, isn't it? There's something there.
I don't 25 at halftime.
I know, but there's something there with this line. I mean, that North Carolina A&T picked the last in the CAA. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird line. Sure. Why only 20?
Well, but you know what? Like that's typical though this time of year. Like this is where you get like the pros who just hammer some of these lines that just absolutely make no sense.
Yep.
Right? And we may be the people who do that today. Because I'm with you. Like I think some of that just may simply be based on South Carolina's season last year, but I'm not convinced that they're going to be that bad, guys. I just am not. I think the upside with the guards could be really good. Again, we have questions about the front court, but I think their guards are good enough to play really well this season, and we'll see. But yeah, I'm with you. If we had to make our Rock Lock FanDuel pick of the day,
I think I'm in agreement with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Might be South Carolina. So,
I think that's just disrespectful. Only 20 points better than a bottom 10 projected team in the country.
Listen, Gary keeps saying it. Just keep on underestimating
the
Gamecocks. Lamont Paris told us. We talked to him a couple months ago. He told us. He's like, come on, this team built more like the team a couple years ago. So
disrespectful opening line.
Disrespect. The disrespect. All right. We'll see what happens with the Gamecocks tonight. Let me give you the full schedule here. So you guys know if you want to check in on some of these games, we will run that down for you here quickly. Again, not a big slate. It is going to be, as we said, Kentucky and Nicholls at 6 p.m. on ESPN, SEC Network Plus. Good luck finding it. South Carolina, North Carolina A&T also 6 p.m. on the Plus. And then Duke and Texas, 7:45 Central on ESPN. So, that's your slate for tonight. Tomorrow's slate, we'll quickly tell you about that. Georgia hosts Maryland Eastern Shore. LSU hosts Charleston State. Mississippi State hosts North Alabama. Now this slate right here, a lot to be desired, but we will share some thoughts on those tomorrow. Phil caught it, Max. You didn't catch the reference. I did throw in a WWE reference for you earlier.
What was it?
Catch it when I said I'm afraid I have some bad news. There was a wrestler, Max, named Bad News Barrett, and that was his line. He'd come up to someone and say, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yep, yep. I remember Bad News Barrett.
Yeah. How tall was he, Max?
Man, he was tall, wasn't he?
Big, tall guy. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we got.
Want to wrap back around to last night?
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's tell you about ROKFORM. We were kind of joking about our friends there in terms of our Rock Lock FanDuel pick of the day. You all know about the Rock Lock, the world's strongest magnetic phone case over at ROKFORM. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, Rock Lock secure mounting. They got some great cases and accessories, folks. If you got the new iPhone, all that kind of stuff, they got all kinds of they got some great stuff over there. The quality is tremendous. Reminds me of Max Barr, to be honest with you. terms of the quality. Use the code for 25% off, SEC25, 25% off over at ROKFORM. And, of course, our friends at the Yearly Company, Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition, designed for meaning. Each piece handcrafted from solid 14-karat Sam Smith. That's gold. And natural gemstones made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Every Yearly Company bangle, custom size. So knowing your size, the most important. If you're a holiday shopper and you're like, I got to get this holiday shopping done now. I'm not waiting.
Now.
Husbands, wives, like, come on, just go get the sizing kit. It's 100% free. Literally, you log onto the website. You do a little typing that you do, right, on websites, Max. That's what you do. And you just put in the code SE16KIT. And it'll say, okay, 100% off. It's free. You get a sizing kit for free. SE16KIT over at the Yearly Company, link in the description below. All right, as Justin says, yes, hit the like button. As Sam says, no, we're not putting that on the screen. Good gracious. All right, let's circle back around to last night, and you guys can, again, share your thoughts, any questions, comments you have, super chats, make sure we get to it. And Justin asked earlier, am I overreacting to the Vanderbilt performance? No.
Nope.
You're not.
Blake,
I don't think they're not going to win every game by 44, but you're not overreacting.
Yes, they are.
Okay, well, all right. You heard it here first. You got your early line, Vanderbilt at UCF on Saturday. Whatever the line is, Max saying they're winning by 44. Ken Palm's got it by 6. So there you have it.
They're up to 16th in Ken Palm. 16th. Do you know what that would be in the entire conference? Like if you're just going by the analytics?
What's that?
Fourth in the SEC right now, according to the early analytics. And they're only one spot away from third.
Let me tell you another analytical trend on Ken Palm. There is only one game on Vanderbilt's schedule before March that they are projected to lose by more than 2 points on the analytical side of things.
Wow.
And that's at Kentucky on February the 28th. So wow. Ken Palm projected result. Florida at home, lose by 1. At Arkansas, lose by 2. At Mississippi State, lose by 1. Kentucky at home, lose by 1. At Ole Miss, lose by 2. At Missouri, lose by 2. At Kentucky, lose by 8. And then Tennessee is the final one they have in terms of the projection. Lose by 4 in Knoxville. Projected record for Vanderbilt, 20-9, 10-8 in the conference.
Is this like are we going to be talking Vanderbilt top 10 after November?
We could be. We could be. Now, we say all this. They could go lose at UCF on Saturday and everybody jumps off the bandwagon. But analytically, there are reasons you and I were jumping on board this summer.
Yeah.
I was hearing things. I was looking at the roster. I was putting 2 and 2 together saying, okay, this may be a team that is going to be an absolute force. And I know it's one game, and we said we're not going to overreact to the positive or the negative after one game. That was our truce. We made that truce.
Yep.
But I don't think it's overreacting when we have been beating this drum for months. And I think you just saw in game 1, like at their height in terms of how they played. Put the opponent aside for 1 second. I know that matters, but put it aside for a second. The style that they play, the depth that they have, they are going to win a lot of games this year.
They have the third most Division I college basketball experience in the country, and they just shot 55% from 3. This is not a fluke.
We'll see. All right. By the way, Darren asked this comment. So Max said before, we as soon as we jumped on our screen here, Max like, you got to be kidding me. We're dressed the same again. Hey, at a certain point, it's like Step Brothers, like it's kind of what we are now. So, yeah.
I was gonna right when he hopped on, I go, all right, I'm taking the hat off. We cannot be the same, but.
I was going to go Yearly Company.
How do you not wear this?
Come on. I think these are so nice. And let me just go ahead and put the link in there in the description for you guys who want to, what a segue. For you guys who want to just buy some merch, it's still there. So, se16.printify.me. buy your hats, buy all your other stuff. It's getting warm. Got some nice sweatshirts there. So, all right, here we go. What else we got in the chat? I thought we missed the super chat. Here we go from Zach.
Yep.
What are you guys' smaller schools to root for this year? Oh, what a great question.
That is a fantastic
Zach's going to root for the Longwood University Lancers.
Okay.
Um,
I'll go with the Billikens. Robbie Avila.
Oh, yeah?
Highlight material.
It's an early pick in our fantasy draft, I believe.
He was.
Oh, you know, I'm going for it easy. High Points. Did you see the high pointers yesterday? Oh, man. Are you kidding me?
What'd they do? I didn't see it.
They won 97-71 against Furman. I mean, absolutely blitzed them. Looked tremendous.
Wow.
I'm going to go High Point.
Nice.
New coach. Glenn Kamen takes over for Alan Huss. So, I'm telling you, High Point could be a machine. They're projected to go 26-4 on KenPom. 26-4.
What are the Billikens?
St. Louis is projected, if I could ever get back to the main page here,
64th right now. They're projected
to
finish 23-7.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be sleeping on Big Robbie.
Don't do it. All right. Let's see what else we've got here as we look at Notorious 199 on the super chat. Give me the Akron Zips.
The Zips?
Where are the Zips at? 87th in the MAC. They beat James Madison last night, 85-71. They're at Princeton on Saturday. They go to Purdue in a couple weeks, so we might check back in on Akron.
The Zips.
So, Justin says he's an alum of High Point. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Well, in that case, I got to pick another team. All right. Yes, Nick, we have talked about Kentucky. The Cats played today, and they play a pretty solid Nicholls team. So, all right, Max, thoughts on Auburn and Bethune-Cookman? We did not get to watch the end of that one live last night, and so we said we would circle back around on a little bit. Apologies to Zach and others who do not want us to do that. What did you see when you went back and watched the grand finale for Auburn's 95-90 win over Bethune-Cookman?
Well, my main takeaway was just, geez, Bethune-Cookman is going to be really good this year.
They are.
Hetty is a beast. He had a slow first half. And then Arterio Morris, that is a high major player that just has made a few bad legal mistakes. But if you're talking about his ability on the basketball court, he is a high major talent. Bethune-Cookman is going to be good. My takeaways there for the end of for Auburn, like offensively, man, I was impressed with Elijah Freeman. I know he didn't really score a ton, didn't score in double digits, but towards the end there, Freeman had some nice takes to the tin. So did Overton. I thought I was gonna be all Keshawn Hall, all Pettiford, but it was a little bit of the other guys. Williams Adams. I think Williams Adams is. I said it last night. I think he's going to be the guy instead of Jovic, and I'm sticking to that. I wasn't too impressed with Jovic, but I was down the stretch there, Blake. I really liked what I saw from Freeman and Overton. Kind of the secondary guys stepped up big time.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Morris because, I mean, remember, this guy was at Texas how many years ago? 3 years ago?
Three, I think. Then Kansas, and who knows? Yeah,
but, I mean, like you said, he's playing at Bethune-Cookman, but, I mean, he's a player.
Right.
Finished with 20 and 10. And I thought on the Auburn side, too, like Freeman, we mentioned him a little bit this offseason. He was kind of the buzz name, the same way like an Amari Allen was at Alabama. Like you started to say, all right, hearing his name a bit. And I think you're going to see him, again, play a lot. He played, 33 minutes last night. I'm with you. I think Williams Adams is going to be a guy that is certainly going to be a big factor in the rotation. And I think that's where you start to look at this team a little bit, right? That's where, okay, Pettiford's a sophomore, Freeman's a sophomore. Williams, that like you've got some younger guys. Jovic is a freshman, like, and we talked about the potential adjustment for him, and I think that's fair in terms of like seeing how it plays out. But look, the defense has to be better. There's no question about it. I mean, that's a clear starting point based on seeing some of those possessions. I think. Look, I'm going to come back to the thing I talked about when people were asking what's going to be one of the biggest differences when you go from Bruce Pearl to Stephen Pearl. And I said, I don't know if difference is the right word, but like one of the biggest questions I have is when you get in those situational moments that are going to define outcomes of games. That's where I think it's like that is like on the job training where you have to be in those positions to know exactly what buttons to push in each one, right? Once you get to the next one and the next one. And I think, I'm not saying this is a good outcome in terms of like, hey, Auburn, hey, great job winning by 5 in overtime against a team that you were projected to win by 20-something against. But this is one of those things I think we can look back on and say, you know what? That may have been good for Auburn because that may have been good for everybody. The players, like the coach, like it may have been good for everyone. And so we said it last night. I'm not going to completely overreact. Went back and watched it down the stretch. There are clearly high upside things that you look at with Auburn. Keyshawn Hall, again, where the hell was this guy on some of these preseason All-SEC teams? I don't know. But he is going to put up numbers. He is going to be a first-team All-SEC type candidate, I think, this season. And they just got to clean up some of this other stuff, and I think some of it is just going to take a little time. We said the problem may be they get a little bit of time this first week or so. Then the schedule really starts to pick up. So we'll see how much of that gets done over the next, 2 weeks before they play Houston on the 16th. And then we reassess, I think, from there with Auburn.
What is it called when you can like request the government for like public records? It's like a freedom of information or something like that. I want to apply that to the media that voted on the All-SEC teams to see who's leaving Keyshawn Hall off their first, second, and third teams, because we need some justice for Keyshawn Hall. Absolutely unbelievable that he didn't get a single honor, even on the third team. Are you kidding me? On the other side, though, Blake, the biggest analytical faller, I mean, obviously no shock there, but Auburn was already, last year you start the season projected preseason number 3. This year you start the season projected preseason number 31. Now back down to 43. Blake, if you are familiar with, bubble conversations when we get to February and March and you're looking at the analytics, that's usually the bubble, right around analytical 40s, right around 45-ish. If you get outside the top 50, you're probably not going to be in the bubble. And if you're right inside the top 40, you're probably pretty comfortable. But it always seems like right around 45-ish in the analytical rankings is where the bubble usually sits. And right now, that's exactly where Auburn is pegged.
I mean, right now, they're the 13th best team in the SEC on KenPom. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, folks.
No.
I realize, and we said it, like, I think we were probably lower on Auburn before they made the coaching change than most people were this summer. I kept saying, I think I'm going to move them closer to 6 than I am. We kept mentioning the top 6, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably moving them closer to the 6 number than I am 1 or 2. And so it's going to take a little time. And they've got a tough non-conference schedule. They may lose quite a few of these games, but I still think the talent is going to be there. And like I mentioned, I just think it's going to be they have to adjust in some of these late game situations, and I think it's how you handle those. That's a new thing. So we'll find out how it plays out for Auburn. Meanwhile, the chat's loving Max's Freedom of Information Act reference here. They were blown away by this.
Yeah.
So
needs to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, right now that Auburn is, we're 1 game into the season. All I'm saying is that because these, preseason projections change so much throughout November, they're going to have the Houston game, Oregon, Michigan, NC State, Purdue, Arizona, tons of opportunities to increase this. But just it's just something to note, like as of right now, the projection is somewhere right around probably like a 7, 8, 9 seed rather than more like a 3 or 4 or 5. That's just what the numbers say right now.
Yep. Okay, what else do you guys want to talk about? We'll hop off here in about 10 minutes or so. Let Max save his voice a little bit.
Yeah, sorry if I sound a little. It's the beginning of the season, Come on.
We all know that my voice will be gone in less than a week at this rate. Like, come on, that's just how it works. So, Tosh says, bold prediction this summer was Missouri and Vandy would finish the top half of the league and that Auburn finished in the bottom half. It's early, but 2/3 of that look on target. Yeah, I mean, could be the case. So I think plenty to be impressed. Whereas, I see Bill coming in trying to stir things up here, talking about a potential lifetime contract extension at Auburn. But I know what Bill's up to. I know what he's up to. So what else do you guys, again, want to talk about? Leave a super chat. Any of your questions, comments, what do you have to discuss? I will tell you, I have a feeling, based on the way these games are structured tonight, we will probably react to these 3 games tomorrow morning rather than tonight, because you have the 2 early games with Kentucky and South Carolina. Duke, Texas probably won't tip until after 8 Central. So rather than coming back, late at night at 10, 10:15, 10:30 Central, probably just going to wrap up these 3 games tomorrow morning. So just a note on that. That would save Max's voice too.
Blake, there is one interesting little talking point Wes brings up here. Wes says, I know Florida lost, but they still looked like the better team to me. I think that that will prove true by the end of the season. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because, last year, January 4th, 100-106 loss at Kentucky was Florida's first loss of the season. They were 13-0 going into that game. And after that game, it was the first real test for Florida. And Blake, you, me, and Chris sat here and said, I know they lost, but who else is going to Kentucky right now, putting up 100, and barely losing with Kentucky playing the way that they did? We came out of that game saying, even though they lost, still like them more. I'm assuming that's kind of what Wes is saying here. They lost, but they looked like the better team. I still think they're going to figure it out. What's your reaction to a take like that for Florida coming out of that game? I don't feel as much of that I did last year.
I think Arizona looked like the better team.
I do too. They were physically dominant.
Yeah, that's my thought. I thought Arizona just simply looked better, but that's also going to tie into, right? Like, and look, Alan brings up a comment. He says Koa Pete's not going to do that every game. One of the things I said last night was Koa Pete and Jaden Bradley, are they going to combine for 57 every game? That's going to be hard. Because Bradley hit some tough shots. Koa Pete made some tough plays, but I still think, Florida hit some shots. Yes, Florida wins the game, right? Boogie Flan, wide open 3 in the corner, missed it. Florida misses 10 free throws, missed 20 threes. But that's basketball too. It's like that's part of the game. We can say, well, if they would have done this, but they didn't. They didn't do it. And so Arizona was the better team last night. Florida had a better start. They were up double digits, but Arizona throughout the entire 40 minutes, I thought the overall summary is that they were better. And Florida, as we mentioned last night, I think they're going to have to embrace the physicality more. I know some people were talking about how, maybe a little too physical. Florida didn't get the calls. Well, guess what? In the SEC, that's how it goes, folks. We say it. And I thought Florida adjusted better to that in SEC play last year. Once they got there, they were a very physical team, right? And that's why I mentioned like the relentless rebounding and all of that. But I didn't think they handled it that great last night. And so those are things that have to be worked out. Long way to go. Do I think Arizona is significantly better than Florida? No. But I also would push back a little bit on the idea that Florida was the better team. I thought Arizona was the better team last night.
I think Arizona might be a top 5 team in the country.
Well,
I
what
think
did we say, Max? We read off and let me see what they are now. Hold on, because I think this is important for the
I think they're
discussion.
going to be incredible. They did that without Burries doing anything.
They still have the 6th best odds to win the Big 12 at FanDuel. They are at plus
insane.
900. Houston plus 145, BYU plus 500, Texas Tech plus 650, Kansas plus 700, Iowa State plus 800. If that's the 6th best team in the Big 12, love the SEC. Big 12 is going to be better this year because that's a really good team. So,
I mean, that 3-man rotation of Mo Krivas, and Tobe Awaka. And you can throw Karchenkov at 6'7", 6'8", Russian beast at the 4 to stretch the floor if you want. I think it's much more of, I think Arizona might be top 5 and Florida could still be top 10 than like Florida did, is not a top 10 team. I just think Arizona is. And Big Gator brings up a good point too. Arizona is better than BYU from what I saw last night. 100%. I totally agree.
well, yeah.
Right now, I'd say you could put an argument that, just Houston would be the only team that I would accept as a, saying they're better than Arizona in the Big 12. So, and one thing that I was a little bit weird was no Alex Lloyd, right? The guards were having some trouble in the game. Alex Lloyd, we've been hearing so much about him, drawing LeBaron Philon comparisons. He can shoot the lights out. We only saw a smidge of Isaiah Brown. I was a little bit. I thought we would get a little bit more bench minutes from the backcourt, but who knows?
Yeah, and look, Big Gator EJ said Florida's defense was bad. Yeah, I didn't think Florida's defense was very good, and so some of that I think Arizona hit tough shots, but some of it I just thought, Arizona kind of got what they wanted. So,
Yep.
After one game, that's what we know. Long season. I know Matt's saying, let's slow down here. It's one game. Exactly. We try not to overreact, but we do think there are observations you can take away from these early games. So, all right, guys, we're going to hop off here shortly. Any other super chats you want to throw at us, do it. As we said, more than likely reaction tomorrow morning for the 3 games tonight. Sometimes we just have to pick our spots when you have, some of these lighter slates. And so that's probably the thought too, because tomorrow's night slate is also not the greatest on paper. So we'll probably tie both of those into tomorrow morning show. Unless Max, there's a big upset tonight.
Oh no!
If you were to have that, then we will be on tonight to talk about it. But for now, that is kind of more than likely the game plan for this. I know Justin was asking, what is our schedule going to be moving forward? It's just in non-conference play, guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell you exactly what the schedule is going to be. A lot of it is simply dependent on the game slates and all that. So usually, most mornings we will be doing this at 9 a.m. Central Time, as we did last season, but everything else kind of TBD. It really just depends on what the game schedule looks like. You'll get your preview/prediction videos as we've been doing for the bigger games, that involve kind of, top 25 teams and such, but that's the best we can do for non-conference. There's just so many games to keep up with. So,
Blake, before we get off, I have a question for you. One last question to get everybody ready for tonight's big one. Well, tonight's only close spread. It is halftime of the Dick Vitale Invitational. Texas is up by 1 point on Duke at halftime. What happened in that? Why? What happened? How does Texas stay in this game? Because if you asked me the same question yesterday, but Villanova is up at halftime, it would be like, ooh, I don't know. But then look at how the game played out. Nail-biter all the way through. So if Texas does keep this thing close, what happens?
Jordan Pope goes 4 of 6 from 3 in the first half.
Nice.
And our guy, Lassina Traore, immediately catapults himself into top 5 bully ball conversation and comes out and just, which could play into Sam's projection here of, let's say Boozer gets 2 fouls and he's in early foul trouble. That could be a Traore impact there. So that's my thinking. Texas come out hot shooting in the first half, and the big guys for Texas, Traore specifically, make some plays.
Sean Miller is a fantastic coach. I think he's going to have the guys ready. He's going to have a good game plan for Boozer. I think Duke in the exhibitions kind of just shock value, punch in the mouth. This is what we got this year, and no one really knew how elite Boozer. I wasn't expecting 25 and 25 point and rebound lines from Boozer against Tennessee. So now that you get those and you have the, that shock value, holy smokes, Duke is back right up there at the top 5 again with all this size. I think that works in Texas's favor. They got nothing to lose here. Absolutely nothing to lose. First year head coach, first game, you're playing a top 10 team in the Dukies. Just go out there and get physical. Kendall Weaver, go slam a jamma on him.
You heard it here first. Slam a jamma from the one and only Max Barr. What was that North Carolina A&T line a few minutes ago?
22.5.
Okay, 22.5. All right, you got to make your Rock Lock FanDuel pick of the day. Is that it?
Yeah. I think either Ken Palm is extremely disrespectful to North Carolina A&T, ranking them 353rd, or South Carolina's getting no respect. They could be winning by 25 at half.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one too. We're going to double up on the Gamecocks.
All right.
On this one. All right.
Let's go Gamecocks.
Go Gamecocks. The other games of note tonight, I'll just quickly tell you before we hop off. Purdue's going to host Evansville. I'm looking at the rest of the slate. Texas Tech hosts Lindenwood. There's probably some other games out there that may be interesting, but a little late night San Diego State, Long Beach State for those interested. Yep. Oregon and Hawaii are going to play tonight. That's a fascinating game.
Hey, did you see? Speaking of Hawaii, did you see Hawaii D2 team beat Boise?
Is that right?
It was like a Hawaii something. Hawaii. It was like some Division II school in Hawaii beat Boise
Hawaii
State
5-0.
last year.
Was Hawaii 5-0? I don't know that. No, I didn't see that. I did not see much of anything last night outside of SEC.
And there was all this weird discourse about it. People were saying, since it's D2 and it's not a Division I team, it doesn't get factored into the net ratings or the quad. You can't put a D2 team in a quad. So, it almost doesn't affect their... Yeah, the Hawaii Pacific Sharks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It was a crazy night.
They're doing them a favor. It shouldn't factor into the net. Come on. By the way, the Anteaters last night put up 125. I don't know if you saw that.
Wow.
UC Irvine 125, Bethesda University 49. Get them out of here. All right. We're out of here as well. We appreciate you guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on notifications so you know when we go live. Hopefully, for some of you fans, that's not tonight because that means you're in trouble. But yes, that is our plan. Who knows? If we get feisty, we may decide to do something tonight. But more than likely, tomorrow morning is the best bet on that. More game previews. We get some big ones coming up this weekend. We'll have those coming up at the channel this week. All the football stuff is there as well. So we appreciate you guys. Join the membership. Don't forget to do that. Probably starting, I think, next week, based on looking at the schedule. You're going to get a little bit more live predictions for the members and all that. So, yeah, be sure to subscribe. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel.